As a highly decorated Army veteran of 25 years, she operated a secret unit of 120 people dedicated to stopping terrorist activities around the world. The extremely intense job had her report to Vice President Dick Cheney. After 9/11, the Department of Defense needed someone in the Army who could help in the fight against terrorism. They handpicked Colonel Diane Schroer to operate that secret unit because of her extensive experiences in the Middle East. Schroer became particularly notable in the trans community because of the lawsuit she and the ACLU filed against the Library of Congress in 2005. The Library of Congress created a position to study terrorism in the world and needed someone to fill that position. The position had been tailor-made for Schroer's extensive experience, and after several months of interviews, they offered her the job. However, when she told them she would be starting her transition from male to female, they rescinded the offer. The ACLU filed a lawsuit under Title VII sex discrimination and won the case in 2008. Schroer also appeared before the House Committee on Education and Labor to speak on LGBT job discrimination based on her experiences with the Library of Congress.
I am here today because in fall 2004, I applied and interviewed for the position of Specialist in Terrorism and International Crime with the Congressional Research Service of the Library of Congress. In December, I was told I had been selected for the position, and after some rapid salary negotiations, I accepted the job. So I invited my future supervisor to lunch so I could tell her about my plans and help her ensure everything went smoothly. I explained that I had a female gender identity and was going to be living full-time as a female. My intent was to start when I commenced work at CRS. The following day she called and said that after a long and sleepless night, she decided I was not a good fit for the library. In 24 hours, I had gone from a welcome addition to the staff to someone who was not a good fit.
Autum Sandeen spent 20 years in the Navy and retired in 2000 as a fire controlman first class. During her 20 years, she served on 4 ships, and in the last few years of her service, she had been sexually harassed by shipmates because she appeared to them as being too effeminate. Her executive officer tried to investigate her under Don't Ask, Don't Tell, but she successfully fought it and won. Since retiring, Autum has become one of the most respected bloggers in the LGBT community, writing for the award-winning blog Pam's House Blend for several years. In 2010, she decided to take her activism to another level by chaining herself to the White House fence twice, along with LGB veterans in protest of Don't Ask, Don't Tell. Even though the repeal of Don't Ask, Don't Tell would do nothing for transgender and gender non-conforming people, she decided to take a stand on this issue. The police arrested her both times. Now that Don't Ask, Don't Tell has been repealed, she has become a strong advocate for allowing transgender people to serve openly in the military. A man of trans experience, Sir Jesse McNulty joined the Army in 1985 and became a military police officer. His command quickly recognized his photojournalistic talents and assigned him to a position where he could use his skills. McNulty ended up writing and editing for the military community newspaper, The Town Crier, and the 18th Engineer Brigade's Sword and Castle. In 1987, his command named him the 21st Support Command's Journalist of the Year. Sir Jesse has a master's degree in education and teaches in the DeKalb County school system in Georgia. He has contributed on many levels in the community, facilitates a weekly support group called Trans and Friends, and has been a member of the Feminist Outlaws since 2003. On several occasions, McNulty has participated in the Atlanta Pride Color Guard and became one of the founding members of the Georgia Safe Schools Coalition. Calpurnia Adams has become one of the most well-known trans veterans in the world. In the late 1980s, she enlisted in the Navy to escape a strict fundamentalist household and served 4 years as a field medical combat specialist. The Navy first stationed her in the Middle East during the First Gulf War and then later in Adak, Alaska. After the Navy discharged Adams, she moved to Nashville, Tennessee to eventually work as an entertainer in the city's largest drag club. In 1999, she fell in love with a young soldier stationed at Fort Campbell, Kentucky by the name of Barry Winchell. On the 4th of July weekend of that year, a fellow soldier, egged on by another soldier, brutally beat Winchell to death. Their love story and Winchell's murder became the subject of the 2003 award-winning movie called Soldier's Girl. Today, Adams has become one of the trans community's most respected spokeswomen for equality. She has won countless awards for her positive image of our community and her work in helping others to become who they are. Joanna Clark joined the U.S. Naval Reserves in 1955 at the age of 17. 2 years later, she went on active duty and attended the Naval Aviation Electronics School. She stayed in until 1969, then entered the Navy Reserve. After her surgery in 1975, she joined the Army Reserve, but they discharged her nearly 2 years later, saying she was disqualified in all aspects, physically and psychologically. In 1988, Joanna Clark became Sister Mary Elizabeth Clark and served in the American Catholic Church, an independent church that follows Catholic rites. In 1990, inspired by a young man with AIDS in Missouri, Sister Mary Elizabeth started Aegis, which became the largest database for HIV and AIDS in the world. In 2013, Aegis lost their funding and closed their doors in May of 2014. She has won countless awards for her work in the field. Today, she has returned to being Joanna Clark, resigning as a nun. Denise Brogan served in the U.S. Navy from 1972 to 1976, stationed on the submarine USS Grayback, and became a quartermaster second class. While on board the sub, she got the nickname of Debbie because she appeared so effeminate. One high-ranking petty officer forced her to have sex with him so she could get his signature on her submarine qualification card. After the Navy, she earned a master's degree in business and worked in the business world, cross-dressing in her off time. In 2004, she received a law degree and worked for the Service Members Legal Defense Fund, helping gay, lesbian, and bisexual service members accused under Don't Ask, Don't Tell. Denise formed the Rainbow Law Center with partner and spouse Mary Cador, and in 2009 she attended the USS Grayback reunion. Everyone accepted her wholeheartedly. Jennifer Klaus served in the Navy from 1963 to 1967 in a helicopter squadron on the USS Luce. She was declared 100% disabled by the VA several years after being discharged. Today, Jennifer is a member of the Disabled American Veterans and has become the first trans person to be elected as commander at a post for the Veterans of Foreign Wars located in northern Arizona. Pauline Overby received her draft notice in 1966 and arranged to be sent into the Air Force. She trained in reciprocating engines and became the first in her class. In 1968, the Air Force assigned her to the 56th Combat Support Unit in Thailand, and she stayed in until her discharge in 1969. In 1999, Pauline had her surgery and got a divorce from her wife in 2001. She remarried in 2002, this time to a man. Her husband died in 2004. She worked in the trans community in her state and spent time as the secretary for the Transgender American Veterans Association.